Hello, today I'm going to introduce several strategies to search the internet using keywords and operators to produce the desired search results. There are several popular search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, and DuckDuckGo. They all use similar techniques. I'm going to go ahead and use Google today. If you would like to work along with me, go ahead and open up google.com. And as I demonstrate the different techniques, you can always pause the video and then pop back and forth between the video and the Google tab. I want to search for information about the history of Vikings, so I'm going to type the word Vikings in the search bar to see what I get. When I press enter, it returns results for the keyword Vikings, and you can see here that it brought up the Vikings TV show, and it is bringing up some information about the football team and so on. So it does have some information about the Scandinavian Vikings, but not necessarily what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up to the top, and I'm going to make sure that I'm a little bit more specific with my search. So one thing that I need to do is tell the search engine that I don't want to see results of pages that have NFL, football, or TV. So to do that, I click after the word Vikings, and I'm going to go ahead and put a negative symbol and type NFL, space, negative symbol, football, space, negative symbol, and I'm going to type in TV and press enter. And for the most part, it's going to eliminate some of that information that I was seeing before. So it does a pretty good job there, but still it's giving me quite a few results here, as you can see. So I need to narrow this down just a little bit more. I know that the Vikings originated from Scandinavia, so I'm going to type in Scandinavian Vikings. And as you can see here, that has narrowed the search results a little bit more. And as I scroll through, you can see I'm starting to get a little bit more of what I'm looking for about the Scandinavian Vikings. But you will notice here that I see Vikings here and Scandinavian here, and as I scroll through, some of the pages might have the word Vikings and some of the pages might have Scandinavian. It's returning either word, but not necessarily both words in the search results and not necessarily together. If I want to make sure that the search engine provides me results with pages that have the exact word Scandinavian Vikings, what I need to do is put those words in quotes. So I'm going to click up here in the search bar and I'm going to put that in quotes. And what's going to happen is this is what tells the search engine that these two words need to be together in order to show up in my search results. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter. And again, it's narrowed down just a little bit more. And as I scroll through, I can see now that it's providing results here, Scandinavian Vikings, Scandinavian Vikings, Scandinavian Vikings, and so on. So now at least the pages are going to be specifically about the Scandinavian Vikings. If I were to start opening up some of these pages, they might give me information about the Scandinavian Vikings from Denmark or from Sweden or from Norway. There were various regions that the Vikings came from, but if I want to narrow it down to just one region, what I can do is I can put that region in parentheses in front of the word Scandinavian Vikings so that the results that are returned to me are specifically going to have the Norway region at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and in the parentheses, I'm going to type Norway and then space. And let's see, if I want to, I can click on up here and I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't want to see any results from Denmark and I don't want to see any results from Sweden. And I'm going to press enter. And so now I'm getting, look at this. Boy, did I narrow that down, right? 14,500. So I'm really starting to refine my search to obtain articles that are specifically going to meet my objective here. Okay, so now you know that if you want to find a particular grouping of words, you need to put that in quotes. And if you want something to be found first, you can put that into your parentheses. And if you want to omit certain words from being found in your search results, you would put the negative symbol, no space between the negative symbol and the word. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just have you delete that information in there if you're following along with me, so that it should just show Norway and the Scandinavian Vikings. So now what I want to do is I want to show you that you can refine your search a little bit more by being specific about what type of website you want to look at or what type of file you would like to look at. And so the way that works is you click up here in the search bar and you would type in site : and you can type in the type of website you want to look for. So let's say we only want to look at websites that are from educational institutions. You would put edu because that's the end of the domain name. So then you would press enter, and here you can see this is an edu website, this has an edu website, and so on. So now we've narrowed the results to 304. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete that out of there. You can also search by the type of file that you want to see. So let's say you want to see an Adobe PDF file. You can type file type : and then PDF, enter. And now we are only seeing websites that are providing articles in the PDF format, which means when you go there, it's going to open a PDF page. This is a 506 page PDF file. Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click back to that. I'm going to remove that specification there. So the next thing I want to do is show you that you can refine your search by the date that it was published online. So you can come right over here to where it says tools, click on that. Where it says anytime right here, you would click on that. And as you can see, you can look for things in the past hour, 24 hours, past week, month, year, and so on. And you can even put in a custom range. But if I click past year, that narrows the results quite a bit more. I got to be honest, when the whole COVID-19 thing first hit, I would type in COVID-19, go to tools, and I would look past hour or past day because the information was changing so quickly. Another thing that you can do is you can search for specific words at a specific website. So if you know a website typically contains information about your topic, you can search that website right from your search engine. So for example, if I want to look on the history.com website for information about Viking settlements, I would type Viking settlements in quotes, and then I would type in site : history.com. And so what this is saying here is to look for these two words together at this particular website. Now I'm going to press enter, and as you can see here, it says Viking settlements, and I'm at the history.com website. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, so as you can see, history.com, and it finds anything produced that has Viking settlements together. So this was 2014, 2018, and up here 2019. Pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and delete that out of there. Search engines utilize wildcard characters, and if you've never used a wildcard character, basically a wildcard allows you to search for something that maybe you don't know the right number, so you can put in the asterisk instead of a number, or maybe you don't know the exact spelling of something, or maybe you want all forms of a word. We use wildcard characters in a lot of different computer programs, and you can also use them when you're searching. So for example, let's say that yesterday you found a website that said 22 interview tips, but you couldn't remember exactly how many interview tips. What you could do is you could type in the asterisk and then in quotes interview tips and then enter, and it should bring up any web page that has a number before the words interview tips, or basically anything, because it doesn't have to be a number. But in your particular case, if yesterday you saw something that said 22 interview tips, then you would be looking for a number. But you could see here it found job, best, new, 12, and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. You can also use the wildcard characters to find all forms of a word. So let's say you wanted to find all forms of the word educate, like educated, education, educational, educator, and so on. So you would be able to type educat asterisk and it would find any form of the word educate. Now, if you think you're going to have a hard time remembering to put quotes around words that you want to find together or a negative symbol in front of words that you don't want to see, you can always use Google's advanced search dialog box, and you can do that two different ways. First of all, you could go to google.com, and usually when you're at the Google page, right down here it says settings, and you would be able to click on that and choose advanced search. And you see here it says all these words. So I would be able to type in Scandinavian Vikings, and I'm going to come down here and type in Scandinavian Vikings in quotes, and up here I might type in Norway. You could have any of these words. Actually, I could have this down here. Let's say I want to have it find from Norway, Denmark, or Sweden. And just by the way, over here it reminds you that you need to put these in quotes, and over here it reminds you that you need to do your negative symbol. So I'm going to type in NFL and negative football, negative TV. I'm going to scroll down, and here you could specify that you only want to find the results in one particular language or another, published from specific regions, the last time that it was updated. As you could see, we talked about this just a minute ago, so anytime you could specify if you want it from, you see over here, an edu.org or .gov, so I'm going to go ahead and type in the edu, and then the file type, remember we talked about this if you want to see PDF files, and then I can go ahead and click advanced search. So there's not a lot of search results here, but it did find on an educational website a PDF file that has Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, about the Vikings. Notice that the search bar has Scandinavian Vikings in the quotes. It's got the negative symbols and the information that I had previously shown you how to search for educational website and certain file types. Now I can go ahead, so I can delete any of that out right here, or I can just click back to go back to the advanced search. Right here where it says use operators in the search box, if you ever forget any of this information, you could just come in here and it actually tells you how to search for this type of information. So let's see, here it says site, how to find a specific site and related websites and that kind of thing. Oh, that's not something that I showed you, so I can go ahead and show you that. I'm going to go back to google.com, and let's say you were looking for a website that's similar to another website. Let's say you went to WebMD and you were curious if there were any other web pages that had this kind of information. Well, what you could do is type related:/webmd.com, and when I press enter, it should return results of other types of websites that are similar to WebMD. Okay. So going back to the topic of using this advanced settings here, there is another area that you can get to this. So let's say I am searching for information on diabetes. Well, it returns the results of information about diabetes, and it's probably going to have information on type 1, type 2, latent autoimmune diabetes in adults, and so on. And so what I can do over here where it says settings, I could click advanced search. And again, it takes me to the same exact advanced search dialog box. So two different ways that you can get there. And then what I could do if I wanted to narrow this down, let's say I only want to find information on latent autoimmune diabetes in adults. I'm going to put that in quotes, and remember it shows here to put it in quotes. And I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't want to see anything about gestational or type 2, like that. And when I press enter, you can see that it's returning the results for latent autoimmune diabetes in adults and all of the different search results you see on that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go back to Google. And now what I want to do is just show you some of the fun things that Google can do. In addition to searching for information for you, it can also perform math calculations, conversions, some tracking, and so on. So one way that I use the Google search engine is to find words that I don't know how to pronounce. So what I do is I type in pronounce : and then I type in the word that I don't know how to say. And right here, you'll see this is how you would pronounce this word. And if you hover your mouse over the lips over here, it will have an audio for you to listen to so that you can learn to pronounce that word. Now, let's say you didn't know what a word meant. You can simply type in define, and then it will give you a definition of that word. So I use those two things a lot. And then also little things like if I'm in the kitchen cooking, I typically have my laptop in there with me because I'm going off of the recipe off the web page. So what I do is I'll type in if I need conversion. So for example, if it calls for a certain amount of ounces instead of cups or whatever, I can type in, let's say 12 cups into an ounce. And it will tell me that 12 cups is 96 ounces, or 8 cups into an ounce. So 8 cups is 64 ounces. I can perform basic math calculations, so 400 plus 400, and it gives me a little calculator in the result here. So these are the types of calculations that you could perform. If you ordered a package, instead of going to, let's say, FedEx or UPS or whatever, you can just copy and paste the tracking number right into Google, and it will show the tracking information. Also, if you're flying somewhere and you need to check if the flight's on time, you can simply type in the flight number, or let's say you need to pick someone up at the airport and they've given you their flight number, you can type their flight number in here. That's just a guess. 4142, it says it's a Southwest flight, and it's giving the information right here. If you want to search to see when a movie's coming out, you would just type in the movie name up here, and it's going to give you movie names and any local show times. Most of our movie theaters are closed right now due to COVID, so I can't really do that. And then food nutrition, let's say you need to know how many calories are in an apple. You can type in apple, and it typically, oh, I picked the wrong fruit because Apple computers is more popular. So let's type in orange, and it typically will give the nutrition information over to the side here so that you know how many calories and whatnot to record. And you can also type in daylight savings information, or you can find out what time it is at a specific area, let's say Kauai time. So it's 10:30 there, and right now as recording this, it's 12:30. So those are just some of the fun things that you could do using the search engine. There's so much more, but I just wanted to show you it's not just about searching for specific web pages. It can return quick information to you in terms of calculations and things like that. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.